Alright, so my first video has been posted for about 11 days now. Let me go ahead and look at it real quick. I'm averaging about a view a day. That's progress. That's real progress. Alright, I've been looking at other people's videos. I found a few things that I can improve on, so let's get to it. Number one, my background's pretty let me go fix the background a little bit. Be right back. It is what it is. That look, oh, that'll do for now. What's the next thing? All right, I'm back. What's next? Background music. All right, we'll get that a shot. My color grading, I'll look it up on YouTube, see what that means. Is camera quality. We'll work on that later. All right, so should you learn data structures and algorithms? Too long didn't view. If you plan on going front end, probably not, you'll probably be fine. But if you plan on going for the back end or being a full stack developer, I'd advise you to learn data structures and algorithms. So you'll reach a point where you have made multiple programs. Of course, you got your to-do apps and things like that. You'll want to create things that are, specific to you, your own personal projects. For me, it was callsofduty.com, where if you play Call of Duty, you'll have a battle.net username or Activision username or something like that. And you will type that in and it'll show you in a dollar amount, how many weapons you have wasted or lost, how many bullets you have shot, and it'll put a dollar amount on all that. Your kill streaks, every time you call in a UAV or artillery strike, that's thousands of dollars that you're using in order to, play the game. Not in real life, but that is a project that I've created, and it got some traction. I put it on Reddit, and I got a few hundred views in a day. The same with another one I have, SpaceXDB.com. that uses the older SpaceX API, and it just shows all the launches. That was my first View project, and you can check it out if you want. I believe it's live. It's using their older API, so that data is dated, and their latest launches are not on the older API, so it only goes up to, I don't know, 2019 or 2020, something like that. You built these projects and you feel like you're ready. Well, like I said earlier, if you're going front end, you probably, focusing more on animations and CSS and JavaScript and Bootstrap and things like that. But if you're going, for a back end or a full stack job, you're gonna need a little bit more than that. You need to know data structures and algorithms. I didn't know what data structures and algorithms meant at first, and I've interviewed with many big companies, and they would ask me a question, a coding question, and at first I was thinking, okay, these problems, people hear these problems and they solve it all in their head and they just spit out the code. That's how I thought this stuff was done, but no, they have these data structures and algorithms, the common ones they have memorized, or they know the fundamentals, and they're able to, spit that out in code, and they have that in the back of their head, and they can, use the right tool for the job pretty much. So I didn't learn that until maybe 2 or 3 years after I started, and I bumped many interviews because of that. For example, valid anagram and valid palindrome. These are examples of questions that you'll probably be asked in the interview. These are pretty easy if you know anything about string manipulation and array manipulation. Those are pretty easy for you to kind of think up of, on the spot without having data structures and algorithm knowledge. A lot of times when you're working on these simple projects, you kind of have to do some string manipulation or moving around of arrays or adding things to an array or removing. So this stuff you kind of just know. Now when you get to slightly more complex things such as valid parentheses and binary search, with valid parentheses, you'll want to use a stack, and the binary search is, that one is I knew what that was, but I didn't know how to put it into code. So yes, like I said, I will be in these interviews, and you have all of these questions. The easier ones, like the strings and arrays, things like that, I could solve. Give me a little bit of time, I'll figure it out. But when I got to the harder ones, I would sit there and brainstorm, and no crap, one interview took me the full 2 hours, and I didn't even figure out how to do it correctly. That was pretty embarrassing. Now I'll make a video on that one. I just pretty much wasted their time for 2 hours straight staring at the screen. But if I went back and learned a little bit about these different data structures and algorithms, that probably wouldn't happen. I'd probably be making more than I currently am making, and I would have been working after 2 years of self-study instead of 4 years of self-study. So go ahead and get into the data structures and algorithms. First thing I did was I hopped on Udemy, and I got a course by Colt Steele. It's called Data Structures and Algorithms, and he pretty much breaks down everything. The thing I like about Colt Steele is that he breaks it down to where it's like easy. So it's good to know a lot of that, keep it in the back of your head, and be able to pull it out when you need to. When they give you a question, you can look at it and say, okay, I need to know, I can solve this problem by using this algorithm, and bada bing bada boom, you can solve that out. You can knock that out real quick, and you won't look like an idiot like I did when I just stared at the freaking screen for 2 hours. You don't need to know everything 100%. Well, it depends on who's interviewing you, but a few times I've got stuck on some things, and they would use what they call rubber ducking, and that'll help you come up to the correct solution. So you just need to be in the ballpark, and they'll help you with the rest of it, or they may help you with the rest of it, depends. So with that being said, should you learn data structures and algorithms? Yes, if you plan on going back-end or full stack work, you should learn data structures and algorithms. Ideally, go over it before you start interviewing. Do some practice leak coding, and you should be good. That's what I would do if I could start things all over again. And people that's trying to get into the field, I tell them, you probably won't actually use this on the job, but the interviews, that's the barrier right there. It's making it past those interviews. And for a lot of those interviews, you got to know some data structures and algorithms. All right, with that being said, if you feel like this helped you at all, go ahead and hit like. I will be doing more little nuggets of knowledge like this, things that help me on my journey. You go ahead and subscribe, and thank you for watching, and y'all have a good one.